Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Painting with Whiskey and Women. I am Crysta from Litter to Glitter. Sue is taking the night off. Poor thing. She had some stuff to take care of. But with me is, that's your cue to tell them
I
about
am
you.
Nature with Beauty. That I'm Nature. I'm with Beauty for Ashes Design Studio out in Arizona. It's hot and muggy.
Girl, it has been like 106 here, 108 for like the last month.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And right now it's really humid. So this isn't a natural glow.
Yeah,
This is
yeah. Usually
yay
I have,
humidity.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I know there's my other color. There's my. So what I'm doing is I am just going to put some glaze on this top. I'm not striping it like I did the sides or the stencil as I did on the top. I am just doing it
hmm
just kind of a mix of the, this is patina metallic glaze, and I'm using the crystal
Mm,
blue metallic glaze and kind of muddling them in together all over the top. So,
fun. Those are pretty colors. I dig
so,
'em. I got this crazy big chest that
but,
I'm just throwing a little bit of blocking primer on. This is
uh-huh.
cherry, so it's pretty much it's dry and ready to go up here. But I'm gonna throw some Daydream on it. So I think I'm gonna do. I gotta open this one. I feel like this is more of an elegant piece, so I think I'm gonna go with Forest Rain, which is this really pretty. You'll see it in a second. It's a really pretty deep, like forest green. So
Well, if they
really
named
pretty
it
color.
forest green, I would
Um,
imagine it
oh,
was
I'll get this
kind of a
stupid
forest
thing off
green
there.
color.
What
So
was that?
I said, since they named it forest green, I would imagine that the color would be a forest green color, a deep, deep green.
It's cutting out some. Yeah, it's a really deep. So Daydream does their paints a little differently. It's actually pretty cool what they do. So each color line that comes out is curated by a different artist.
Uh-huh.
So this particular this particular one is from Chloe Kempster, and she did a botanical line. So
Okay.
her colors, she had like a couple of really pretty greens in there, like a really deep, deep blue, and a couple of like a coral and a pink. But here's that green. It's just very
Ooh,
deep and very, yeah,
that is a
that's really
really,
pretty. She did a fantastic job. So yeah, I love how they do it. So the very first line that came out was the Neons by Anissa Perry. And then the second line was Llewellyn with Warm to Whimsy. She did a oh my gosh, I always want to say nautical. It's not nautical. It's like a but not botanical. What the heck? It's just more sea colors. And
like
then
a more coastal than
this
nautical.
coastal, freaking coastal. It's coastal. I don't
I'm
know.
here.
I'm like,
I'm here
you're
for you.
I'm glad somebody is because I'm like, dude, if I don't know. So yeah, coastal, and then Chloe's is the botanical line, and then the brand new line that literally just released on
It's
Friday
Brandy's.
is Brandy's Cozy Home. So Brandy came out with more of a neutral palette, and I was gonna actually use them, but I had too many. Not too many. I had a good amount of pre-orders and stuff, so I had to put something on my shelf. So I was like, okay, I'll try it next time. But
Yeah,
this
I'm
piece
looking.
calls for.
I'm looking to get Brandy's line in for me to try. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to do it, and I have to say, just especially, and you might catch this, what she named her colors. One of those names, I
Karma. We high-fived on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God! Well, when I first saw that it was being
Yep.
released, and it was I was looking, I was like, oh, they're so pretty, and I saw the name, and I was like, oh my God, that's just another reason I love her. I loved the name.
Yeah.
I like instantly sent her a message and was like, oh my God, girl, you know, uh,
Yeah. It was funny. When we were in Florida, she was like, we were talking about it. She's like, did you catch one of them? And I'm like, don't you think? I mean, yeah. I love it.
So Delania Miller is on. She says, hey, hey, hey. Sue is on. So Sue's watching us. Ooh, that is a really pretty color.
And that's like just barely the first little swipe. It's pretty. These colors are very pigmented. And the paint itself is a chalk and clay based paint. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get the best of both worlds with the clay in it. What I really, really love is I don't have to put an adhesion primer down.
Right.
I put a blocking primer down because it's cherry, you know, any redwood. You should be throwing down a blocking primer. But yeah, the clay in it's gonna stick to anything. So that takes out a step and saves a little money. But it's a really great line. I'm like totally digging it. I fell in love with it a year ago, but now I'm like deeply in love.
Well, I want to try a little bit of it, because
Yeah, you'll like it.
I try a little,
Yeah,
there are things in my studio that, yes, are my go-tos, but then I've got stuff from
yeah,
almost every paint line that I'm like, oh, I like
yeah,
this one just a
same.
little bit better. This one
Yep,
does this.
same,
And that's one of the
same
things
girl.
that I love. Anne from Indiana, she says, hey, ladies. Kat
Hey,
is on with,
Anne.
Kat says, good evening. Kat, she says to you that is that a Bombay piece? That she loves those.
It is. Hey, Kat. Yeah,
Delania
it
says that
is.
she loves
Bombay
that
inspired.
color.
It's pretty. Yeah, wait till I bring
Kat,
up the other one.
bring it out.
I got it. I got it right here. The other one, I'm like, oh, another one I'm just so in love with. It's called Calm Palm, and it's more of a mintier color. Let's see
Ooh.
if I can. It's just so fresh, and the colors just complement each other beautifully. So I'll probably use that to highlight some areas. I don't know. I'll get this paint down first, and then I never go in with a complete plan. You know what I mean? I just start
What is?
slapping
Hold
paint
on.
on.
Did you say plan?
It's
plan?
a dirty four-letter word.
Is
Don't
that
tell me
that
you don't like
fictitious?
our four-letter word.
Well, there are some four-letter words that I use a lot, but plan is not one of
But
them.
not one of them.
Yeah. Isn't that
What are
fictitious thing along with sleep
yeah,
and vacation?
sleep,
I thought that
vacation, weight loss. what, what are those? Yeah,
yeah,
vacation. That's another one.
I are you sure that that's a real thing?
That's why I don't ever. And if the times that I do, it goes so sideways, anyways. And I'm always happy that it does because it turns out better than what I originally thought I wanted.
Well,
So,
tell me if
y'all,
this is something that you do, because I've said it before, and some people tell me I'm crazy, which I am, and I'll go with that. But other people are like, yeah, me too. And when I hear the me too, I'm like, oh, you're my people. I will start a project with like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then it's like my furniture talks to me, and I have to like, it'll say, no, I don't want that, and then
yeah,
I get mad at it, and I have to put it in the corner. My husband just poked his head in through that doorway, and he says, honey, that's just the voices talking to you.
So, those are good voices. Yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes I'll try to um, put my what I think I want on a piece, and it doesn't. It ends up not. I force it, never force it. And when you force it, you're gonna end up not liking it.
Yeah.
Your piece is gonna tell you, nope, not today.
Oh. Oh, Austin, hand me that. I'll show it. This is my son, Austin. Nature. This is my son, Austin. And so
Hi.
look what he found where he works. This got donated, and so he brought it home. He brought it home to me.
Oh, I love me some Dr. Pepper.
Oh
I could
yeah.
go for one right now. That
Yo,
sounds
you mean like
great to
this?
me.
Ha ha.
Sucker, I don't even have my water in here. Why do I need it? If I feel like, if I'm gonna dehydrate, I'm gonna go big. Go big or go home. Dr. Pepper
Yep.
sounds really good.
Um, Mary Sharkey says hi, Nature.
Hey, Mary girl.
And
Mary
so
girl.
Mary asks, what color is that?
This one, Mary, it's Forest Rain. It's from Daydream. Chloe's line. It's pretty. It's a pretty girl. I love this color. There's some colors I'm gonna say I don't love.
So
I
my
love.
girl,
You're talking about. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say my girl Stacy's on. She says, "Better late than never. I'm here. Been at the shop working on the evil dining room table. Oh gosh, that dining room table." Stacy is a furniture artist here in Dallas, and
Oh,
she
fun.
actually got me to consult with her on this demon spawn of a table, and because, well, let's just say that what the person wants done with the table is not actually what's going to happen with the type of table it is. Does that make sense?
Right. All.
Um, they're bringing her an orange and asking for an apple pie.
Hmm.
You know,
I feel like that's typical.
but it's just, well, the thing is that this is like a really old. It's a beautiful table, but it's one that around the top they have like used a router at production and like put the the groove all the way around the top, like 3 inches in from the side all the way around,
Right.
and they kind of wanted that filled in with like a different color, like putty or something, than because they didn't like the way it looks because it looks dirty and it catches stuff in it. And I mean, it is just it's not feasible what they're looking to do with this table in the price range they want it done in. And so she's been up there dealing with the demon spawn.
Good time.
Yeah. So it's been a pain in her patella for about 3 months now. So
Yeah.
um, oh, Stacy says, P.S. I don't remember seeing a day off request from Sue. And you're not going to see a day off request from Sue because I approved it. I don't need to. What? I have to tell you that Sue's not going to be here? I got Nature. What better person to step in than Nature?
I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm a good time. I'll try to be.
Yeah,
Try to be.
you're awesome. So,
Thanks.
Stacy says, Sue, it's finally working out. I'm one step away from taking your other advice of setting it on fire and pushing it out the back door. That's what Stacy said about that table, that she's one step away from setting that table on fire and pushing it out the back door. That's
Hold
funny.
on. I think I lost
Oh,
her.
no, I can see you.
You can see me.
I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay, good. You can see and hear me?
Yes, both. We almost, we've almost got the
Hear ya.
perfect thing. I can see and hear you.
Oh, there.
So
There we go. Okay. We
once I
good.
get, we good, we good. So actually, this dresser that I'm doing, Stacy, who I was just talking about, is going to put it in her booth at Cottonwood Market, where she has her booths, and it's going to be up sale for sale. And the proceeds of the sale of this, 100% of it, I'm not even taking my time, my paint, not nothing. 100% of the sale price is going to be donated to the girls' home in Dallas. So
Mm, I heard part of that. I know what you think of it. You're
oh,
stuck. I'm
are
gonna
we
check my
having? Are
Wi-Fi
we?
real quick.
All right.
I think it's on
So
my
I'm
end. I'm gonna check my Wi-Fi. Hold on,
okay.
just a second.
That's the great thing about going live and anything. And if anything's going to go wrong, it'll go wrong while you're live. So eek.
Okay, try that.
Are you good?
I think I'm good. I changed my Wi-Fi thing. Sometimes, it's weird with the weather here. Um, when these monsoons come in, it'll throw everything off for like a long time because Arizona, they're like rain. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
we're
it's the
good.
same thing here in Dallas. Okay, I went live yesterday, and I was live for all of about 4 minutes, and all of a sudden the power went off in the house. We never lose
Oh
power.
shoot.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is so rare that and of course, because the power went out, the router went out, my Wi-Fi went out, and then to get everything
Yep.
back up and running, and then it popped on for like 2 minutes and then was back off, and then stayed off for like an hour and a half, and then it came back on, and it was like, ah. So, I mean, it was just a mess.
I feel you. It's like our
Cats,
phones aren't working right. Our
yeah, it's
Wi-Fi, everything.
just
Yeah.
everything
Today.
has just been wonky here. And I wish I could say it was rain, but now around us, like 20 miles away, has gotten rain. We haven't seen rain in probably a good month and a half.
Oh wow. That's how we usually are. Even at the beginning of this monsoon season, like it was, like really. But last week, holy cow, it rained like 5 days in a row. We were getting crazy storms. It was amazing, really. But our ground is, it can't soak in that water quick enough, so it was like rising on my back patio and good times.
Good times.
But I'm not gonna complain. We need the rain bad,
Yeah.
so bad here. So I love that. I feel like you're like me, Crysta, with using different paint lines. Um, I don't know if you started out this way or not, but when I kind of got into this world, I think a lot of people started with like Annie Sloan, and then other paints started. And when I got into this whole world, I retail for 2 lines right now. I used to retail third one, and that third one was the first line I retailed for. And I was kind of under the impression that you don't mix different paint lines. You stay within that paint family, and that's that. And
Well, okay, so I'm going to push that over, and then I'm going to do this so I can talk to you because I need to let that layer dry before I can do the next layer of glaze. So let's just have a girls' chat. That was one of the things that I actually talked about a few months ago, because I've always, I carried several different lines in my store.
right,
And people would come in and they would be scared to death. It's like, well, I kind of want this color, but I have to use this company. And I'm like,
right,
well, no, you don't. Well, yes, I
right.
do. And it's like, no, you don't. And so I have always spoken, and when you're doing lives for that company, you can't say that.
Right.
But here on Painting with Whiskey and Women, this is about why we do what we do and love what
Right.
we love to do, not,
Mm-hmm.
we're not brand exclusive here.
Right.
And so that's the thing, is that I have often mixed paint lines, and I would tell people, you're not creating a nuclear bomb. You're not creating a chemical.
Yeah.
Cyanide is not going to be released from your piece if you use Paint
Right.
Couture with Dixie Belle and Miss Lillian's and
Yeah.
Daydream
Yep.
Apothecary and Paint Pixie and Melange and Frenchique and Anne Sloan. You can use them together. The
Yeah.
biggest thing, the only time I tell people that you need to be careful is if they are oil based and water based.
Ding,
That
ding,
is the
ding.
only that is really the only thing that you have to be
Yeah.
careful for
Yep.
and watch out for is the oil and the water based.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that, that's how some of these brands have built brand loyalty. And, is that you can only use us. No, you don't. No, you can't. And
Yeah.
if you say that in, our worlds, that, if you say that in one of the
Mm-hmm.
groups, then, you get bullied and you're told that you're not loyal enough.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, why am I going to tell my customer that went and bought, because, they found me and found your paint through me, and they like, because I give them a lot of advice, but they've already spent 50, 100, $200 on another paint brand. I'm not going to tell them to throw that out and
No.
not
No.
use it.
Mm-mm. I
And so, yeah, that's something that's never set right with me.
Yeah, I had a problem with it. In the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, because like I said, I started with just Annie Sloan, and I was back then, you're new and you don't know, and then you had another paint brand come in that made you feel like this is the end all be all, and every person has to fit into this mold, and nobody can go outside of that mold. And just like you said, if you do, you're bullied. Um, what you're using isn't quality.
Yeah.
um, you know so much can be said about that. And I began retailing, gosh, it's been almost, I guess it's been a year and a half, when I was retailing for that. I mean, we're on your page, we can say names, right? I
Sure, I
mean,
don't care. Go for it.
okay. So when I was retailing back then, for Dixie Belle, um, I decided I wanted to bring in a different paint company because I wanted something different. I wanted to have, not everybody likes chalk paint. Not everybody likes acrylic. Not everybody likes water based. Not everybody likes oil based. There's so many different types of things for artists. None of us are in the same mold. So, um, so I did what you did, and I started carrying for Paint Couture because it was an acrylic based line. I love the paint, it's beautiful. And I was told kind of the same thing, like, you're crazy. What are you doing? You know, you don't like this anymore. And I'm like, no, I do like this, but I like this too. And I actually like them together. And, as time went on, a year ago, I brought on Daydream because, again, it was something different. At that time, they brought out the neons. I loved the neons. I didn't have anything like it. And it had a clay, part in there as well. So I felt like it was more of an artisan paint than what Dixie Belle was. And again, different from Paint Couture. So, so I did. I carried that, the three lines, just to reach a broader audience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be boxed in. I don't want people coming to me or my shop or me personally and me boxing them in, because I was taught to box people in. So it's refreshing. I love that the industry's taking a turn and that people are finally catching on that, oh my gosh, these, paint brands can play nicely together
Mm-hmm.
if you allow it. So,
Yeah, and to me, it was always like the bully in the schoolyard is what it got to me to
hmm
feel like. And I'll tell you how I started carrying more than one paint line. And it was because I started looking at my business.
hmm
And I was thinking to myself, because at that time I was only doing Dixie Belle.
right.
And I think it was, many, many years ago that I started retailing, and there was a hurricane coming in, and it just hit me. If something, they're in South Florida, say they get hit by the hurricane, what happens to my business because I can't
Yeah,
get from them?
right.
And so I started looking at other paint lines because I didn't want my business to be solely based off of some one product from someone else's business.
Right. You didn't want all your eggs
Um,
in one basket.
Right. And so that's why I really started looking at other paint lines. And that's why I chose the Miss Lillian's line, was because where'd she go? She disappeared on me. Ash! Nature! Where'd she go? She poofed on me. There she is. Okay, I can't hear you. Hold on. It says you got to unmute your mic. Huh. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do, because it says that your mic is muted. Huh. Try your mic again. It says that your mic is muted. It says can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. So for some reason, your mic isn't connected.
I found it.
Oh,
I thought
yay!
somebody
There you
told me I
go.
had green. I have green paint on my nose. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. So what I was saying is that I just look for other things, and it's not you know um, and somebody says, "Wow, the Dixie Belle bashing. I love the paint. Not a retailer by any stretch of the imagination." And Bridget, I'm not bashing, the
No,
paint. I think
no,
the paint is good.
it's great.
I don't like the culture that has been surrounded by it.
Yeah,
Of the you can only use us. We are the best.
right.
Everyone else sucks. And you must. Everything has to be whitewashed and slightly distressed, or it has to be this color, or this is what you have to do. It's
Yeah.
more about to me, it's more about their creativity than the paint.
Right.
And in that culture, it's just been made out to,
Yeah.
it's too much for an
It's
artist to
hard.
be.
It's really hard because you and I came from a whole different world inside of that culture, and where other people, just maybe other artists or other um, consumers, customers, clients, they're outside. They're kind of outside looking in. Get it.
Yeah,
I completely get it. And so no, it's definitely not bashing. It's just
no,
we each have we've all had our own experiences with different companies. It's not only
yes,
Dixie Belle. There's other
yeah,
companies out there, and I think until you know, with any company, whether it be a paint line, a shoe line, a clothing line, food, you name it, until people start to there's a right and a wrong way to speak out. I think you can speak out positive, in a positive way without it being a bashing session. Um, but you got to remember that we kind of came from something traumatic, very traumatic actually. And it's not about bashing one group of people or one company or one paint. It's not. Just like you, I love the paint. There's, they've got an amazing paint line. There are other products I could do without. I don't, you know, the labeling of things that weren't done properly and stuff like that, I have a hard time with.
And
But
see, for me, it's because I'll just say this. Um, I look at it like this. And I really feel bad for current retailers
yeah,
because they're in a tough spot. Many of the retailers are at the level that they are required to purchase certain items. They have
right.
to. Whether it's selling for you or not, you are required to purchase. So Dixie
And
Belle can,
continuing, you have
yes,
to continue to purchase, whether it's sitting on your shelves or not.
yeah. And so the thing is that when this first started out, retailers were guaranteed a certain territory. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you became a premier retailer, you had to buy a certain amount of stuff, and they come out with something new, you're required to carry it, and
Right.
whether it's selling or not, and then Silk came out, and that's when the elite retailers came out. So that is if you were a premier, which is everything from Dixie Belle and all of the Silk. We were promised that if we did that, we would get zip code protection plus,
Right.
not just our zip code, but plus. That didn't happen. Now that
Mm-hmm.
they've come out with Terra, there are people that have premier that should be allowed to have their premier. Now, if somebody wanted to move in with Silk, if you didn't carry Silk or you didn't
Yeah.
carry Terra, people could come in with Terra or Silk, but that's not happening. They're allowing people to come in to actually same locations with everything because they carry Silk and Terra because you don't
Right.
carry Silk and Terra.
Right.
And so there are things like that that I don't agree with there because my husband and I, we got out of Dixie Belle. We informed them that we were closing our shop before all the stuff happened with the BAs. So
Right.
us closing had zero zip, not a zip zilch to do with the BA fiasco.
Right.
Um, which I think that both sides need to sit down and have a conversation because
Yeah.
really
Definitely.
the people that are being hurt are the um, are the retailers. And so this is my advice to consumers who don't know. One, stop using affiliate links for
Yeah.
Dixie Belle.
Yes.
Um,
That's huge, you guys. It's huge.
And the reason I say that is because affiliate links are not getting paid out to people, and so Dixie Belle is pocketing 100% of the sale unless you
Mm-hmm.
do it in a very specific way. Now the thing is that Pink Couture, Miss Lillian's, Modern Trends, Daydream, Pink, no other company in the world, the Prima, IOD, Would You Been, no one else is having problems with their affiliate links, just Dixie Belle. And so if you use an affiliate link to make a purchase, then you are only supporting Dixie Belle. You are not supporting the creator that
Right.
you think you are. If you want to support a certain creator, I suggest that you call them or you get on their website or on their Facebook page and say, hey, I want to order this. How can I order from you?
Yeah.
Um, and so this has been an ongoing problem. It was a problem before I left. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that my affiliate link was not getting paid out. I contacted Dixie Belle months before they came out with the announcement. Oh, it's a problem. It's a new law in Europe. Well, we're not in Europe. Um, and so they told me that it was an inside problem, not to worry about it. It was getting fixed. Well, I'm out all that money. Um,
Yeah.
and so, but I noticed it before it had to be addressed with the BA situation. And I asked Dixie Belle about it before it was a problem with the BAs. So,
Yeah. There's
there's just little things. I
little
don't
things that
agree.
become big things.
Yeah, and so the more and more retailers are pushing out Dixie Belle's posts, they're actually cutting their own and other retailers' throat because since the affiliate links are not getting paid out, what's happening is that every time somebody uses a link or goes to the Dixie Belle website, the only person that's making money off of that is Dixie Belle. The
Yeah,
retailers,
the
the
retailers are
content
not.
creators, the brand ambassadors are not getting paid. And
Yeah.
so that's been an issue for about a year now. Because I
Mm-hmm.
noticed it. I called Dixie Belle in, I think, September of last year about it.
Yeah.
And so it's at least a
It's been
problem
going
that's a
on for a
year
while.
that is not being addressed. And we keep getting told that it's temporary and it'll be okay. And, we're fine, you're fine, everything's fine. And it's not fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so my thing is that do I like the paint? Absolutely. I do like the paint. I still have,
Yeah.
and I will, you think I'm kidding, but this
Yeah.
is my personal, because I got rid of my stuff that was in my store stock. Okay. So
Yeah.
I've sold off everything but this is my personal stock. So this is
Yeah.
my personal stock of
Yeah. Mine
Dixie
looks
Belle
very much like that.
and silk and my gilding and everything else. So, and you can see that row right there is like 3 cans deep,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So do I use it? Absolutely, I still use it. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a bad
There's nothing
product.
wrong. Mm-mm. Nope. There's some products
So,
that I personally don't agree with. I don't feel it's been marketed properly. Um, but that I think that falls on the us as consumers and retailers and creators to do your research when you're using products that, especially products that you're being told are safe and really aren't safe. And not that, you guys, we live in a world where probably 90% of the stuff that we use has harsh chemicals and dangerous, flammable, things that we should be opening our windows and
I mean,
having
the
great
fact
ventilation for.
that even
Dr.
water
Pepper.
even water in a plastic bottle has to carry
Exactly.
a, what is it, Prop 65 warning in
Yeah.
California.
In
So
California.
just
Yeah.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
I
So
mean, but still, you
you,
need to do your research.
yeah, you do need to do your research.
People will hide behind, well, even water in a bottle has to have this
Yeah.
prop warning in it. That doesn't mean that your product is as safe as water in a bottle.
Right.
And so people will make that correlation,
Right.
and really their product is the reason why they have that
Mm-hmm.
prop warning.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. And there are very few paint companies where um all their products literally are like have the green eco stamp of approval. um and that's okay. We're not, nobody's saying don't go out and use a product that has a chemical in it. And once it's cured and the things that need to happen to make that product safe, that's okay. It's just I had a situation where, as a retailer, I had a pregnant person buy some gator hide, and gator hide, she was under the assumption that gator hide was safe. um, you know a lot people can argue whether they feel like it was or wasn't. The safety that's out there for that product says something different than what was being not talked about. Do you know what I mean? So
well, yeah, because
for
I was in the same classes and everything that you were,
thank you.
and
Yes. Yes.
nowhere, because we're not. It's
Yeah.
not like when we order a package, we're given the material safety data
No.
sheets, and
No.
so we are given classes. And I will say one good thing about Dixie Belle is that they do a
They
lot
have
of
great classes.
classes.
They have a lot of classes.
But nowhere, and did anyone ever say, don't let, this is not good for pregnant women. Please don't
Yeah.
use it on cribs and high
Around
chairs.
children, around
Right.
animals, indoors with no
Anyone that's
ventilation.
pregnant and not nursing, or
Yeah.
pregnant nursing.
Yeah.
And so even though we weren't told, oh yes, it's perfectly safe,
Yeah.
we kind of were led to believe it was perfectly safe.
Right. And that rolls downhill. So
Right.
it needs to come from the top. And if you go to find those classes now, they've been pulled. You
Yeah.
can't find them anywhere.
All
So
of the old Dixie Belle University classes
yeah,
that we used to take have
and they
been
haven't been
deleted.
replaced and they haven't been replaced with something to change that narrative, I guess. So it's not, you know, I'm sure that we can find something wrong with every single company that we've ever come in contact with, dealt with, whether we retail for them, whether we use it, whether we anything. It's just, it's important. I know, Crysta, that you're on the same page as me on this. When you invest, you're investing your money, your time, everything you have into
Mm-hmm.
not just your small business, but another business to help grow your business.
Yeah.
When you put everything you have into that, you're going into it feeling like you're going to be safe, taken care of,
And that you're
at
more
minimum
partners than
than a number.
minions. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and you guys, for the others that are still in Dixie Belle, they've got mouths to feed. They've got, that's their hard earned money and their time and everything. And I would just really say, if you guys love the product, if you want to continue to support that company or any other company, to one, really look at who you're supporting. Definitely support your local retailer first and foremost. I'll say that all day long, because they've already invested that money. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're supporting them. It's up to them if they want to continue to do business with, that company or another company, if they align or don't. I know we have stories. We have tons of stories that we could go back and forth on. So many different things that have happened to us individually, not hearsay, not what happened to a brand ambassador, not what
Not
happened to this person.
my mother's second cousin, twice removed by marriage.
Thank
Her
you.
sister,
But
she pet
me
sets for
personally,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, personally, and
You guys
I want
acted.
to. Yeah, nature's. Brandy says no way. Dynamic duo. Hey, Brandy.
Hey, Brandy. I'd use your color, but they're like sound like hotcakes, so I'm gonna have to catch up in the next round.
Yeah. So, Bridget says, I appreciate your honesty. Sounds like a retailer issue. I love the paint and I like watching you using other paints. Delaney says, I appreciate you both speaking up and being honest.
Yeah, it's hard,
Like I
you
said,
guys.
well, the thing, it's, it's hard because when you speak up, you get smacked down and people
Yeah,
talk
you do.
about you and
Yeah,
people want
you're a target.
to your target. And
Yeah,
everything that you've ever done since you came out of your mother's womb becomes an issue. If,
right.
they want to go back 15 years, 20 years, 30 years and try to dig stuff up on you.
Yeah,
There are groups of
bingo.
people that, there are diehard supporters that will come after you in
And it's
backstabbing ways.
encouraged. The biggest thing, mind blowing thing, is it's encouraged, and it shouldn't be like that anywhere. Whether it's a huge corporation, a little mom and pop shop, somebody in between, it should never be
Hmm.
like that, ever.
And,
Like, we're teaching our kids the opposite of what we're allowing.
yeah, we're telling
You
our
know what I
kids
mean?
to be nice, and people are acting like asses on the internet because, I call them internet balls. Let's just call it what it is. They got internet balls. They would stuff that they would never say to your face.
Yeah,
They would never say if you were even in the same room, but they're willing to say it in a personal message to somebody else,
yeah,
and then they because it's sent via the internet. And
yeah,
so, they're fine contacting another company, blasting brand ambassadors and content creators, and I'm not going to support you and everything else. But they would never say that if they were even in the same room as you.
right.
And I am a big believer in some people don't understand that they can get punched in the mouth for speaking things. And so for me, if,
I'm West
you know,
Side.
yeah, I always tell people I'm holy, but I'm from the south side of heaven. We don't play down here. I
Oh,
will, I'll pray with you, but I'll also,
that's
slay
so
with you.
funny. Bianca
I
and
am,
I have a thing that we both were saying. We're like, you know what? Yeah, I've got some Jesus in me, but I got hood in me too.
well, I tell people all the time, I pray to Jesus, but I pack a gun.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so, well, the thing is that I just, there is nothing that I have never said to anyone that I would not say about anyone that I would not have
Right.
said directly to their face. And I know a lot of people say that, then when you get them around somebody, they're like, oh, I didn't say that. No, if I say, I
Yeah.
like that shirt, then I like that shirt. If I go, he's an asshole, he's an asshole. I will say it to
Right.
him.
You're gonna back it up.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't do that. Um, Delania says all they are doing is sending people to check out your awesome work.
There you go. Yeah. There. Yeah.
And that's the
You
thing.
know,
I just, I
there's
really
the other
wish
side.
that there was a way that these people could get along and coexist. And I understand that the retailers that are still in it, they've got a lot of money invested, and I know that they're protecting their investment. But also, I get phone calls, and I haven't been a retailer since the
Yeah.
end of. We closed our shop the last day of January.
Right.
But really, I mean, since November, I really hadn't done much of anything because, I was just packing up and selling off displays and everything else. Um, and still to this day, my name comes up in certain circles and I still get screenshots. I still get phone calls from retailers going,
Same.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got, you know, $20,000 my cost in inventory and nothing is selling. And that's because everything is being pushed to the Dixie
To
Bell
the website.
websites.
Hmm. Plus,
And
honestly, there is some drama that has gone on,
yeah,
and it doesn't, it does hurt sales. It does, and that's the truth, and that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but it's because I can say I was one of those retailers. Crysta, my story. Um, yeah, I've been with Dixie Bell for 2 years, over 2 years, and I had three locations and two premier, one elite, and I didn't get like the phone call, the email, hey, what's going on? I had literally over $10,000 sitting in inventory. I had one location. I'm not even exaggerating, you guys. It was a brand new location. So over over 3 grand worth of inventory just sitting brand new. And another retailer was allowed to go in right there where I was. And my inventory sat. And I spoke up. I asked what could be done about it. I was made certain promises. I was asked to give them another 6 months. So I continued sitting in that location, paying rent, not moving inventory, spending my own money, marketing and doing the things to sell, not even joking, from January till July, 1 8-ounce jar of paint and 3 things of top coat. And this isn't my first rodeo. You guys, I have a very successful location, enough to want to expand, and it was taken away without me even knowing. And when I reached out and was like, why? What happened? Basically it was like, well, you weren't spending enough money with us. And I was like, but I just dropped $7,000 with you guys. Just dropped another $7,000. Plus, I was up until the crash, I call it the crash, from November till now happened. My sales dropped. I'm being liberal when I say 75%. It's more than 75%. Um, that's how much of a blow I've taken from this time this year to compared to this time last year, from November on. Over 75%, to where I have a location that couldn't sell anything like at all, and you're still going to have another retailer come in right there. Like, that doesn't make sense. So that hurt my family. That's not money I just had. I worked hard for it. I earned it. I saved it. I went a long time without. My kids went without. We went without as a family, so we can invest in something that hopefully we have, I could pass down to my kids. And that was gone. It was taken away. And the answer I was given was, well, you can reapply and another $3,000 per location. So let's ignore all this inventory you have sitting on your shelves. Ignore it all. And yeah, we just, bring. So it's a hard blow, and it's an unfortunate one. It's a life lesson. Definitely good things have come out of it. But, I know you have stories where, same with you.
There
It's
are,
hard.
my location wasn't taken away from me, but I was told at the Mesquite Antique Mall there was a Dixie Belle, and she was a elite retailer, and she
Right.
and I are friends, and she decided and I had a booth there with my painted furniture pieces in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she decided that she was going to pull out of that location, I was actually called and asked, hey, do you want to take over? And I was like, hold on, because that's only 4.8 miles from my storefront.
Yeah.
And, when I went elite, I was told I was going to have zip code plus. And
Mm-hmm.
from your description, that location, I couldn't have that area because it was grandfathered in. She was elite, I was elite, she was there, I was there. It's not.
Yeah.
But from what I was told was that when she moved out, or if I moved out, no one would be able to take over these two zip codes
Right.
because, we get the zip code plus with being a premier if you carried silk. And I said, so no, I don't want to put a location in there because, that's a lot of money to invest and pay rent. And I
Yeah.
really didn't want to do another booth.
Yeah.
I
And to have them
I
right
loved,
by each other.
yeah, 4.8 miles away from storefront to storefront was 4.8 miles. And next thing you know, 2 weeks later, because since I had my furniture booth in there, 2 weeks later, we're on the Facebook page and everything. And then, oh, we've got a new Dixie Belle. And I'm like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
But I was told that if I wanted to open a location there, I could, but no one else would be allowed to move in
Right.
to that location because it's in
Yep.
my extended protection. And now so it wasn't in my same store because I had a
Right.
storefront like you and two of your locations in the exact same building. Somebody was moved in. For me, since I had my own storefront, nobody was moved into my storefront. But yeah, they were moved in like just, which I was told that they would not be allowed to move in there.
And
And so,
it's scary because, as a retailer, and this is, again, not just pointing fingers at one company. This is why doing your research is really important, getting these things in writing, even though we have them in writing.
we have them in
Um,
writing,
we do
but to
have
be
them in writing.
actionable, yeah.
We're just these little tadpoles in this huge ocean. Like we don't, that's the first thing people say is go after them legally. They know we can't.
Well,
They
considering that, people, and I have not, but I do know people that have actually looked into, hey, I was lied to, I want to pursue this, and
hmm
first of all, you have to do that in the state of Florida,
in the
in,
state of Florida.
Tampa,
Yep. Yep.
down where they are.
Yep.
And so and they contacted a lawyer down there, told them the situation, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, you've got a case, but for me to take it, I want fifty thousand
You need.
dollars up front,
Yep.
and I want 45% of any settlement.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, you want 50 grand from me up front, and you want 40% of any settlement that might happen.
Right.
And so if I get $50,000, you're going to take, if I get $100,000, you get 40,000 of it. I don't even get what I paid you initially to take the damn case. So,
Plus, you're sitting on
plus you're sitting on, 15, 20, $20,000. And
worth
that's
of.
the thing is that I know women that I can say that, and this is a different company now than when I first started with them. When I first started with
Yes.
Dixie Belle,
Yes.
I would call the number and
Get the
uh,
owner.
Yeah, the owner or Suzanne or Terry would answer the phone, and they would be packing boxes and sitting on the dock waiting for the UPS or the FedEx or
Hmm.
the guy, and they'd be sitting there and drinking a beer or mixed drink, waiting for the guy to show up, and they were packing the boxes and they were answering the phone.
Yes.
And so now when you call, it's, if you have a social media question, well, is it Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook? Is it about a live or is it about posting? Is it about a link? Is it
Yeah.
about, and there's a specialized person for everything. And a lot of times when you tell somebody, um, hey, I've got this question, and they'll put you to this person and they'll give you an answer, and then you talk to somebody else because that didn't fix it,
Hmm.
and they give you a completely different answer. And then
Yeah.
if you bring up the fact that, hey, this didn't help, well, what did you do wrong? It's always, what did you do wrong? It's not like, well, let's look
Yes.
into it, unless it's
Yeah.
always your fault.
Yeah. And that happened. I know that's happened to many people, and it's happened many times. That just even this story I told you about losing my locations. Um, Terry's number two in the company, and she was
Mm-hmm.
the one I was dealing with when this other retailer was allowed to go in, and all this started happening. Sales were dropping, paint wasn't moving, and Terry was the one who was like, "Give me 6 months." That was in April, March. Sorry, that was in March. So that puts me through September, and July 1st, I'm taken off. And when I called to talk to Terry, I'm not allowed to talk to her. Emails weren't being returned. The person I did get, even when I told her, hey, like, I've got this email, I've got, like, I had all my ducks in a row, and I was told, oh, well, it's like, there's got it, you know, and this is, again, it's a life lesson, you guys. And I think a big reason I'm sharing what I'm sharing, even, what Crysta's sharing, it's not to badmouth anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to badmouth them, we could tell you stories that would make your toes curl, if that's what we wanted to do. But it's almost like a buyer beware, retailer beware, consumer, you just, again, not just with that one company, but anything you're going to invest in, you guys make sure, get referrals, talk to other people.
And
Like
not
when you
just
go
the
on
person,
Amazon.
and not, don't just
Yes,
get referrals from the one person that told you
yes,
about the company and
yeah,
really want you because they might get a referral
a
bonus.
kickback
I
or
mean,
something. Yeah,
yeah, every company that has a couple thousand people off of
hmm,
them, they're going to have negative reviews.
I'm
And so,
completely, yeah. And even with the two, with the companies I retail for now, I am so honest. I love these companies, you guys. I love them. I can honestly say I don't have anything negative to say about Daydream. I don't. I don't. I really, so far, and I've been with them a year. They are very black and white. It is like there's no weird gray middle. Paint couture. I love paint couture, but sometimes the communication sucks. So, but I, but they're still good people. Do you know what I mean? So not every company is going to be perfect. They're not always going to have you know, every single product thing in their line perfect. There's going to be things, but it's like, what can you handle? What do you want to put up with? I draw the line at my morals and how I'm treated, and how others are treated. I have people asking me all the time who to go if they want to retail paint for. I'm giving them, I'm not just saying paint couture, I'm not just saying Daydream Apothecary. I'm telling them about Miss Lillian's. I'm telling them about I Love Hue. Like the different companies that I've talked to the owners. I've talked to other people
mhm.
that are in business with them, people that have left for what reasons. So that's all. I know this has kind of turned into something completely different. But I think it's an important conversation, and it's good to hear it from this level. I've heard it from the brand ambassadors. Um, you maybe, and people have taken sides with Dixie Belle or Brandy or Kristana or who, anybody. But I think it's important to hear what's happened to people who are in the trenches. And
Yeah, and also I think it's important because, I do have friends like you that are with Daydream and Pink
yeah,
Couture, and I've got friends that are, Miss Lillian's and Dixie Belle, and
yeah, I've
I've
got tons
got
of friends in Dixie
and
Belle still.
I still have,
Yeah,
people who are Ann Sloan retailers, and it just seems like that everyone is bashing Brandy and Cristana and Bianca and the whole, Leah, for their sales going down. Every paint line that I know, retailer, their paint sales have gone down. We're in a
it's a
recession. We're
hard
in a
time. It's a
depression.
hard time. Yes.
Right. There is a recession, depression, whatever, whatever you want to define it as. People have to decide between, are they going to buy milk, orange juice? Maybe they're not going to get the 2 pounds of bacon. Maybe they can only afford a 1 pound of bacon. Maybe they won't
Yeah.
fill up their gas today. Hopefully they can make it on a half a tank this
Right.
week if they don't go do that extracurricular activity,
Right.
or, they stop and get everything. But what I've noticed is that the gung-ho people are 100%. The problem is the fiasco with the brand ambassadors. No, it's not.
And it's
That
so much more than that.
it's
And
it yeah,
that the brand ambassadors brought things to light,
light,
but
yes.
those things have been happening way before November, October,
And the
September.
things that the
I'm going
brand
to say way before.
ambassadors have brought to light are the same things that have been being discussed for more than a year.
Right.
Some of the situations, some of the stuff that's happening is that people have been, discussing it for well over a year. Have been
It
like,
didn't
hey,
just happen overnight.
yeah. And so, did it get put in the spotlight when all that stuff happened? Yeah, the light got shown on it. It got put on social media. But this is stuff that probably for, I would say, actually a year and a half to 2 years,
Yeah.
people were going, hold on, this isn't the same company. What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah.
Something has changed. What's changed? Are you having the same issue I'm having?
Hmm.
And so it's
And
not anything.
it's really important to note that these discussions have been going on, again, like you said, way before this. I think this is really important to say. So most companies have like a retailers group where, retailers can come together, tell each other what's working, what's not working, get
Hey,
ideas.
I've got an
Yeah,
idea. Anybody got an idea for a class? I've got
right.
these 5 items.
Yes.
How do I use, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't selling. What are you guys doing to get this to sell? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it should be. It should be a sounding board. It should be a place where it's safe. It should be a place where you can have an opinion. And even though we may or may not agree with it, it's your opinion. Here's what's worked for me, here's not. I'm sorry, you're having issues, I'm not, or maybe we both are. If anything was said, and I can tell you from here to eternity, I'm not alone in this. If anything is
Hold on.
negatively said,
Hold on. If anything negative was said, you were blocked, muted. Some people actually had their accounts shut off. They were thrown out
shut off,
as retailers.
deleted,
They're deleted, muted. They were not allowed to
punished, or
rejoin the
deleted.
group. Yeah.
Yep, you got punished. And we're not saying, not, somebody going in there saying Dixie Belle sucks. That happened. Okay, those
Yeah.
people, I get it. That's not the
Yeah.
platform. Completely okay. But hey, my sales are slow. Are your sales slow? That's not a positive, if it just didn't fit that narrative. However, if you wanted to bash another retailer,
Content creator.
brand ambassador,
Uh-huh.
content creator, you're
Oh,
allowed
that
to
was
do
left
so in
up.
there. And that was left up. And in fact, it was
Encouraged.
encouraged because those higher ups, admins, people in another group that's a group outside of that group, um, would go in and chime in. So it's that type of environment where don't say anything negative, and it's not even negative. That stuff isn't negative. That's like, hey, this is real life. What can we do? Because if you fail, eventually I'm going to fail. Like shit rolls downhill. So, or hey, I'm not alone. my sales are down 75%. I'm not alone in this. Okay, it's not something I'm doing, or but
Or hey, with
it,
everything going on, have y'all found a creative way to
right,
reach out? I mean, we used to
right,
share all sorts of stuff in there, but it started getting deleted and blocked, even to the point of like right after I started selling off all my promotional materials. And there's a lot of retailers that were going out of business. And so when I say promotional materials, I mean like
right.
my spoons, my signs, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
And not
yep.
I wasn't selling my
Your
product
color
off to another,
cards. Yeah.
my color cards, that kind,
Hmm.
how-to sheets, everything like that. And they won't even allow retailers to sell that stuff in the retailer group anymore amongst themselves. They're like, there's too many of you, because they don't want people to know that there's
How many
people
people
leaving the
are
company,
actually? Hmm.
leaving the
Yep.
company. And so they won't even allow you to sell your marketing materials to another retailer. And
Right.
so they're like, yeah, you have to do that off of this platform. You can't do
But
that.
so, you know, w- I have a lot to say on that, and I'm pretty passionate about it. I'm not one to just go out there and be a pot stirrer. That's not my MO at all. However, I'm not also one to be quiet when you shouldn't be quiet, I guess. So if it comes up in conversation, if I'm being asked about certain things, I'm going to tell you my truth, and my truth is pretty similar to many, 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 many other truths,
Yeah.
from brand ambassadors to creators to retailers and to even some consumers. Um, but it's up to us, you guys. Like, we could, if people speak out, it can change a narrative. We're not looking to put Dixie Belle out of business. We have a lot of friends that are still in there with them, and we want to see them succeed. We don't want them to go through what we've gone through, what I'm going through right now financially, just struggling, stressing out about that. That's not what we want. But if if the narrative doesn't change, it's setting those people that we love up to have the same things happen over and over again. And we're going to see them. I mean, we're seeing it happen. I mean, it's been a month since I've been out, and I can hand you over 5 people I know right now personally that similar things are happening. And it's sad. You don't want to see that happen to anybody.
And that's the
So,
thing. And I will say this, because what I found is that there are two types of retailers, okay?
mhm,
There's the ones that they keep their head down and they stay local and they only do local stuff. Don't even have a Facebook page, okay?
yep,
Um, Shorty and I travel a lot, and when we would travel, we would go to the retailer, look up an area, and I'm like, I've never seen them on Facebook, and I'd Google, I'd get on Facebook and
yeah,
look them up and be like, okay, no, and they don't even have a Facebook page.
right,
And then there's the ones that, because you're encouraged to get on Facebook and Instagram and what to post, they send you an
right,
email every week of what to
every week.
post.
Hmm.
Yeah, of what to post this week, and here's the tags to put on it, and here's your hashtags you're supposed to use, and here's the description you're supposed to use. And so people are encouraged to do that. So there's the non-Facebook retailers that they just keep their head down, do what they're going to do. Then there's the ones, because we are encouraged to be on social media.
Right.
And if we don't talk about it, it's not going to change. Like, I have found that since leaving, like, I have never had a violation on my business or my personal page on Facebook. And that's saying something, especially with this mouth. All right. I'm just telling you that it's not that I haven't done anything wrong. I just have never been
Right.
caught. All right. Um, yeah, there's more to that story, but
We'll talk.
we'll talk later. There was this one time in high school. No, okay. So, um, uh, the thing is that since leaving Dixie Belle, and when you're on your lives, you can see who pops up. Such and such is watching. Such and
Yep.
such is watching. Those videos are being reported for copyright infringement when certain names show up. as such and such is watching.
And
And
why? Like,
so,
why? You know?
but it's the behind the scenes cancel culture.
Yep.
As you know, because I have shared with you some of the screenshots that I have been sent from other people about, certain people have been emailing other companies trying to get people canceled. People have
Right.
been, and so there's this whole culture behind the scenes that they are, and the thing is that that's all fine and good, but what happens when it starts happening to you and you don't want it happening because people are figuring out that it's you. So now that it's getting out in the community that it's you, and it's not just affecting, if somebody comes after, if we started going after the person that is doing this,
Right.
it's not just going to happen be that person. It's going to be everybody in your crew. Everybody that you call, oh, these are my friends, and this is my crew, and this is my best friend, and this is this. And they're also retailers. They might get swept up in it. So their business might be hurt by your actions.
Right. Exactly. It, like I said, shit rolls downhill. And it's very easy. I've never, this whole painting, furniture, art world, it's so weird. Like I've told so many people, like I've never known such a community of mean girls. It's like high school all over again, and there's no reason for it. Um, I think some people get swept up in it because they are under the false hope of, being protected or maybe having their business elevated, but it's like at what cost? Like you're hurting not just that person, not just their business, you're hurting their families. Like there's a lot that goes into the things that you say, the things that you post, the things that you spread, going after you, reporting you, like stuff like that. And it's like at what cost? Like I'm not comfortable selling my soul for that. I'm not. Um, I've never been one to. I don't want to be a sheep. I'd rather be somebody of character, and that doesn't mean that everything I say, even everything I've said tonight, you have to agree with. You have to even understand. It's easy to say, "Oh, you guys are just coming out and bashing Dixie Belle or talking crap about these people or this group," when it's like, no, we're actually fighting for something, believe it or not. It's like,
Well, what I'm fighting for is that I don't want to see people that have. Now, when I started out with Dixie Belle, like I said, it was a completely different company back
it was.
then. And so when I started off, you could start off with $300, and there was no Premier, there was no Elite, there was no, anything. And so, um, $300 is what I started off with, and I built up. And then they came out with you could be a premier, and that's everything. And you would get your zip code, and we could work up to that. And I already had that when they came out with it. I'm like, I got twice that in my store, and I became now for somebody that's coming in brand new. It's to be a premier is $4,000, what, 32, $3,600,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it would cost me by the time I paid for my two premier packages and shipping, I was close to $8,000. I think it was like around seven, a little over seven, and then I had to pay for the shipping. So yeah. So probably about
Yeah.
3,600, and then you got to pay for
Yeah,
the
so
shipping
for
on top.
somebody to come in and make a $7,000 investment, or okay, let's say a $4,000 investment for half
4,000,
that.
yeah.
That's just for CMP and silk. That's an elite. Um, for them to walk in thinking that they're going to make hand over fist on this, and I just feel like that it's not feasible. It's not going to happen, and people that think that they are, and people are being misled. And so I just want people to, my thing is that I would like to see, one, I really, honestly, I don't care what paint you paint with. You could paint with Oops
Same.
Paint from
Yep.
Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yeah.
You can use Waverly paint that you get off the shelf at Walmart, chalk paint
Yep.
that you get Waverly at Walmart. It all pretty much uses the same. You need to just find out um, what feels right to you. like I am a notoriously thin painter. I paint very, very thin. I like my blends. So somebody who paints thick might like a different paint than me. But
Right.
the blending is pretty much the same.
Right.
The layering, different techniques, they're all the same.
Yeah.
No matter what, whether it's oil, there's a little difference between oil and water based. There is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, those techniques like, the striping that I showed you earlier on the sides and the stenciling and
Right.
you know, once it's dry, a stencil is a stencil. It's not different because you use oil-based paint or a water-based paint. It's a stencil
Right.
for Christ's sake. Doing stripes down the side, laying down tape. It's laying down tape. It doesn't matter if it's oil or water-based.
Right.
Um, so what I would like to see is these companies, corporations come together, start supporting the artist. Instead of finding, well, this is the artist that will deal with our crap right now until they realize that they're not getting paid,
Right.
because artists need to pay rent and electricity
Mhm.
and water.
Mhm.
And, they have kids that have after school programs. And, just because we're artists does not mean that, we don't have bills to pay too.
Yeah. We usually
Um,
have more.
but that was the thing, is that a lot, and it's not just Dixie Belle, so please don't say that I'm just, but there's a lot of companies out there that move from artist to artist to artist that will promise artist stuff, because I've been that artist that's been promised things by companies
Right.
and then get, into it, and then boom, no. And they're in another country, or they're on the other side of the United States, and it's not actionable for you to go after them legally because you're a small artist. And they know that. So what I would like to see come out of anything to come out of this is to watch the artist, and to have, retailers treated fairly, to have artists treated fairly and
Mhm.
paid for their work.
Yep. Which is why me personally, I'm lined up with who I'm lined up now, because that's huge. There's no gray area. And it's up to the artist to advocate for themselves and
Mm-hmm.
to start demanding better. It's up to you guys as artists and consumers um, to know what you're using and not be misled on the products that you have in hand. It's still ultimately up to, it's your choice. If you want to, paint in toilet bowl water, if that's what makes you happy, do it. Do it. Just maybe don't sell it, or put a sign on, this is painted with toilet bowl water. Just be
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 honest about it.
transparent. Be transparent. um i I really see a shift. I've been feeling a shift in this whole community. um I would say probably since November. I think that really shook a lot of stuff up, and it made some companies kind of open their eyes. Some maybe not, but some companies um, say, you know what, yeah, this needs to change, and it does. It starts at the top and it rolls down, and hopefully they'll get their stuff together. Um, you know, I don't know what it's going to take. I feel like there's been a lot of people speaking out, and maybe this is just how they're going to do business from here on out. And if that's their choice, then that's their choice. But I just don't want to see more people hurt
So
in
we've
the
got some
process.
comments. Lulu, she says, "Hi, girl."
Hey, Lulu girl.
It's 7:30. We've already gone over a half an hour over.
Yeah,
And I know you usually go at 7 my time. Did
yeah.
you need to like get going for your live, or did you just want
No.
to share this one to your page, or what do you want to do?
Um, I'll probably still jump over there because I usually have people that are expecting me. I don't like to
Yeah,
go
because
into it.
I didn't even realize we've been sitting here chatting. I
Yeah,
looked over
I
and I
know
looked down
you
at the
just
time and I
joined.
went,
Sorry. I know you jumped on to see painting and what you got to see some, but
um,
I
Delania said there's been a big shift in all areas of crafting, even in the Tumblr world.
yeah.
I thought these furniture painting ladies were crazy, but I started, I was actually looking into possibly Tumblr making, and I started looking into that, and
Brutal.
holy batshit crazy,
Brutal.
Batman. Oh my
I don't
God.
it's like housewives or just maybe the imbalance of our chemicals that we have as women, but y'all, we gotta start coming
Gotta do
together.
better.
We
Gotta do
gotta do
better.
better. We do. And hopefully the discussion we had tonight is a little eye-opening. We don't want you guys to stop using products that you love just because we don't
My recommendation
necessarily
is to
judge.
take the products that you absolutely love and the products that you're like, I use it because it's the same brand, but I'm not really
Don't.
happy with it. Go find another company, try theirs. Go find another
Would you,
company, try theirs.
yeah, would you do that in the grocery store? Or are you gonna buy, you know, just one brand of cereal just because you like one particular box? No, you're gonna get what you want. And I am such an advocate for this. There are many, many, many brands out there that have amazing products. Um, some metallics are better than others. Some top coats are better than others. Some paint is better than others. It's open yourself up. There's a whole world out there. And when you do, you're going to see your creativity change. You're going to see maybe even your mood change, because if you're creating and you like what you're creating and you like the product you're using, it's a game changer. So
It
I'm
definitely, it
totally,
it definitely
it
is
is.
is a game changer. And even though, I stuck with the lines that I carried in my store, since shutting down, I am using more and more paint lines. I'm using different brush lines. I only use like Prima for
Yeah.
transfers and molds. I'm using more and more companies, even smaller companies that you can get to micro print
Some
for
great
you.
stuff.
And, I'm looking at, God, so many companies out there that I am just like artistic overload sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm laying on the sofa with my iPad drooling, going, I want that, I want that. I'm like the
I'll
kid
show you.
I'm like the
There's,
kid, when you see little boys when they're kids and they're trading baseball cards, need it, want it,
mhm.
got it, need it, want it. And I am just like, okay, what's that? Oh, I need that. I want that. Oh, I got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's me right now in the art world. I'm like, got it, need it, want it, got it, need it, want it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I want all the things.
I'll share. I'm sending you one still. Don't think I forgot. I haven't. So brushes. Brushes are an investment, right? They're expensive. They can be. I feel like with most brushes, you kind of do get what you pay for. There's some gray area there. I'm not going to say that because Zebra is a cheaper brush and it's a good quality. Um, but like my go-to with brushes right now is this fella. It's a Paint Couture brush. You guys, I'm not saying this because I retail for Paint Couture, I promise. If you guys want to try these brushes, find a retailer near you, whatever. This is a great, amazing brush. It's phenomenal quality and it's cheaper than some other brushes, even a brush that may look similar to this. Um, and it's a better quality. Like this particular brush, I don't know. I mean, you can see it's well loved, and I'm very hard on my brushes. You guys saw me even tonight just like pouncing away on my brushes, but it's, see if I can do this right. Like it's really kept its shape and it cleans out nicely because I'm notorious for that too. Like this sucker's been sitting here with paint on it, for a while now. It's going to clean up really nice. So just, you guys, again, so try things, get recommendations, but get the recommendations that aren't just, if you hear a person talking about only one brand, kind of step back. And I'm not saying that that brand isn't going to be magical. Just kind of step back and, say why. Why is it because they haven't tried other things? Is it because they have some sort of
They have skin in
investment
the
or
game.
ties? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything I talk about that, if I say I love it, you guys, I'm telling you, it's because I love it. It's not because, oh, go to my website and buy this. Yeah, of course, there's things I love that I retail for, and I'd love for you to go to my website and buy that stuff. But there are things I don't retail for. I'll use, like Crysta with you. I have different paints I don't retail for. I use them on my lives as well. And if I know a retailer that does retail it, I'll give them a little shout out. If I don't, I'll be like, Sorry guys, but I'm sure if you go to their website, it's not. But I feel like that's what we should be doing as people, good humans. You know, give
Yeah,
recommendations. You guys take them or don't.
one of the things that when we closed our storefront down, I was like, I just got tired of, well, my medical issues. I mean, I'm still got issues, that I have to deal with, and it was just too much to run the storefront. And yeah, I'm still doing videos, but I do it because I love doing videos and I love teaching
I
people
do too.
techniques.
Yeah.
And so, and I love what I do and I love doing it. I just don't want the pressure of, now I'm sitting on $20,000, $30,000 worth of stuff.
Not going to be worth
And
it.
yeah, or, somebody decides that they're going to put out a sub-bar product and I am forced to buy it if I want to keep my territory. If I don't like a product, I shouldn't be forced to carry it.
hmm
Um,
That, and I feel like that should even as simple as paint colors. You guys, you know, when you have an extremely large line of colors, I'm talking, Dixie has 69, Miss
Miss
Lillian's has
Lillian's
what,
has over
150 or
well,
something, a
actually,
lot.
I think it's over 190, but I am comfortable saying it's over 170 colors. And
Yeah,
that's one
so
of the
there's a
reasons
ton.
that I fell in love with Miss Lillian's is that she doesn't require you to carry anything. You have a certain minimum that you have to buy to get started, and
hmm
everything past that is on you. If you want to add colors and you pick your colors and you pick your
But
top
you pick
coats,
your colors. You know what
sells in your
works in your
area.
area. If you're in a coastal town, are you gonna
Your coastal colors, maybe your tropical
probably your
colors.
coastal?
Yeah.
Right. If you're in,
A hippie commune, your
Midwest,
boho is going to do
yeah.
better.
If you're with, in a place where farmhouse does well, great. You're probably not going to sell those hot pinks and,
Right.
magentas and bright purples and stuff. So that's the other thing. It's, um, you know, pay attention to that too, because your demographic way better than somebody sitting in another state, thousands of miles from you, who really haven't done the research.
Yeah.
If they have, then they would curve their.
Well, okay, but the thing is that I know that, okay, I carried everything in my location. Like I had like four of everything in my location, even the retired colors. I mean, I carried everything. I even carried stuff I didn't have to carry. I had
Yeah,
everything, and I
yeah,
had multiples of everything.
I did too.
And the thing is that, I've got other retailers that are local to me and that are 15 miles, 20 miles from me that they're like, I cannot sell this color. It has been here forever. And I'm like, really? I sold four of those last week. And then there's colors that are products that, like, I never did well with certain stains.
Yeah,
But the lady up the road, one of my friends, she was like the stain queen. Like,
right.
her stuff flew off the shelf, and mine, I'd be like, it's been 4 months and I haven't sold a stain of this, certain color.
Yeah,
And she's like, oh my God, I sell, I get in 15 of them a week and I sell them. And it's like, how? And she's like, it depends upon your market. And that's, 20 miles from me.
yeah,
So
it's true.
it's not even so much what you're doing with it. It's also, your customer base. If you've got a furniture artist that's in your area or four or five furniture artists and they don't do anything with stains, you're not going to sell stains.
Right. Or
Um,
glaze or
or
wax or, it's, yeah. I think I think it's smart to and I'm not saying, like Daydream has, I think, 26 colors now. They give you an option. You can do, what lines you want to do, and you're a certain tier at that, or you can carry the full line, and and then there's certain perks that come with that, but they give you the choice. Paint couture, same thing. You can kind of pick and choose. And you guys, I'm not saying that paint, if there are paint lines out there that do make you carry all the colors, that they're bad for doing that. They're not. But when you have an extensive line, like a huge line, of products and you have stuff that literally just sits, you should have some say in that. Like, you know, like
Well, okay, let me put it to you this way, because I'm not a retailer for anybody. I'm not even a business anymore, so nobody can come after me because what? I ain't got nothing. Um, Somebody can take a poop in a bag and put their name on it, then make 3, 4,000 people buy it because they have an agreement to buy it because they say they have to in order to keep their territory. And everyone's going, we don't like this product. This product is not good. We don't want this product.
too
But
bad.
yet you're forced to buy it and it never sells. But yet the company doesn't care because they got their money. Doesn't matter that the retailers didn't sell it because
Yeah.
they got their money.
Yeah.
And so that is the problem that I started having, was that
Yeah.
to me, quality went down on some things, and there were certain products that were released. Some of this new stuff that was released was absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God, I loved it. And then other stuff came in, and I was like, what in the ass is this? What am I supposed to do with this? And I'm required to buy, I was required to buy this. And never sold any to the point that the company themselves started discounting them and giving them
Giving them
away,
away. Yep.
and then telling people, oh well, we're going to discount them on the site so you can discount them. Well, what
When
about
you
the people that
see,
already bought it, that we were required to buy it at full price, and you're discounting it to just a like 15, 20 cent over what I paid for it,
mm-hmm,
but yet I was required to buy it.
yeah,
But now it's being given away and it's being discounted, but I was required. And so that never set well with me. That's
yeah,
when I think that's when I started kind of going,
what?
I don't know about this.
Yeah. We could talk all freaking day. Like, there's so much to dive into. And if this is something you guys are interested in, again, not about bashing, but, more of the business side of it, um, let Crysta know. But, we really are just trying to spread some awareness and hopefully help others maybe avoid going down
Well,
those tougher
my
roads that we've had to.
my grandma used to say, "Baby, I've been down the road of life, and if you listen to me, I'll tell you where the bumps are."
Exactly. And it makes sense.
And And so I'm not trying to bash anybody. Like I said, just stop using affiliate links. Contact people directly. Go
Yeah.
directly to people's websites. Stop using the
Yep.
company's website because nobody's getting paid off of that company website except for the company themselves.
Yeah. Support your local
Um,
retailers
Support your local retailers. Get off your bum.
and
Drive the
branch out.
yeah,
It's
and look
okay
in
to
the
branch out.
yeah.
And if you branch
Um,
out and you don't like it, okay. But you
and
might find there's things out there that you were being told was one thing, and then you're like, oh, but maybe not.
okay, so remember when we were kids and our parents used to like feed us those, cardboard cookies? And be like,
Yeah.
here's a cookie. And you're like, cookie. And then, you get older and you get a hold of the Sausalitos. The one that are
Mm-hmm.
like 5 in a bag for like $15. And you're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
this is a cookie. Yeah, they're both
This is a
cookies.
real.
Some are just a little bit better they're both cookies.
Mm-hmm.
But
And maybe you like the cardboard cookies. It's
maybe you like the
okay.
cardboard cookies.
We have a pizza place out here. I don't. It's Peter Piper,
Oh,
and
we don't Peter
some
Pipers.
people. Oh, okay, so some people are like, "It's cardboard pizza," and I'm like, "This is the best. I freaking love it." It's not, again, or you could go and buy a $50 pizza at, somewhere fancier, but um, it's okay, you guys. We're just, yeah, just do your research. Um, go outside your box a little bit. Don't be afraid to try different things. If you love it, great. If you don't, now you know. Yeah, at least you'll have something to compare it to, and um, just be careful. That's all. If you can, there's no way of avoiding everything all the time, but if you at least pay attention to um, the vibe that's out there and why it's there, that's important, why, then, you know, you may save yourself some heartache. And maybe this doesn't resonate more on a consumer level, but I hope it does, because, you know, you guys this is your hard earned money too. So know where you're placing your money into. And if you're okay with that, that's okay too. You know, like remember at one point, like my husband's like, we're not buying Nike because of some controversy that was going on with Nike. And I'm like, but I like these Nike shoes and I'm going to go buy them. And I did, but my husband chose not to, and that was okay. So that's where I'm at with this whole debacle.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry this like went in a completely crazy direction tonight, but I'm glad we got to talk about it.
Well, I think that, like I said, talking about it, and like I said, my granny used to say, been down the road of life. If you listen to me, I'll tell you where the bumps are. And wisest woman I've ever met. She wasn't the most educated, but she was the wisest woman I ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's what I'm at the point of right now. You know, I keep getting contacted by retailers, current and former. And I was one of those people at one point that I was like, oh, that'll never happen to me, you know. They like me there, you know, but they liked me
And
because
I'll tell you, yeah, I'll tell you on a human being level, you guys, it's not fun to get screenshots of things that are being said about you in a private group, that literally has nothing to do with anything. So what, I feel like Gatorhide is toxic and it wasn't um, promoted or marketed properly. That's my opinion, and I have a reason for it. I've had literal customers coming down on me, not just about me, about it. And if that's my journey, if that's my truth, so what? What's it doing? If Are you afraid of it affecting your cells? If it's affecting your cells, you need to go up higher. You don't need to, you know, um, do the whole tearing somebody down because of an experience they literally had, and maybe go up to your uppers and be like, okay, whether this is true or not, maybe we need a thing out there that says, hey, this is what it is, or this is what it's
so
not.
Lisa Staniford,
Mm-hmm.
she made the comment, I've been watching lives in the past that seemed like they pushed and pushed their products. They were the best, and I stopped watching them. It's not the best, but it was their job to push. It got bad. And that's the thing,
Right.
is that
Yeah.
for me, like I said, I paint one way. I've got friends that, I mean, they can load a brush one time and do an entire piece. I
Yep.
mean, they load that freaking brush up and whoop. And you know, I ain't hating. Trust me, I'm impressed by that. Me, I'm a notoriously thin painter. All of my
Mm-hmm.
pieces probably get at least 3 layers of paint because I'm so thin. And you know, that's what works for me.
Right.
And so they might use a different brand because they can load their brush up that way with that brand. And for me, that doesn't work for me. And so when I tell people, hey, this is what works for me, because I'm going to tell you this right now, I miss the old stitcher strip. I mean, you know, they
Yeah, the new
reformulated.
sucks. I hate the new.
I had been stripping on this piece for over a week now.
Stripping on it. Uh-huh.
Ain't
Yeah,
nobody
the new
thrown me a,
formula sucks.
oh my God,
My opinion.
layers, layers
Yeah.
and layers and layers. And so I just, I can tell you what works for me, and I can tell you what I like. There are certain
But you
products
should
that,
never be pushed.
right,
You
when you're
shouldn't
being
be. And that's an
told,
advertise. Yeah, that's across the board. No matter, that's just advertising, but y'all need to, we all need to start making those choices for ourselves, for sure. Because, and you got to think about it too. If it's being pushed so drastically, why? Is it because the company's in trouble? Is it because they're trying to, pick up, or maybe they really honestly believe it? But I'm like, again, like on my lives, you guys will see me using the products I like. And I'm going to tell you about them, and I'm going to tell you how I use them and how they work and why I like them. but I'm not going to tell you 500 times to go to my website. You're not going to see me post it over and over again in my thread. It's posted at the top one time. It's there if you want it. If it's not, it's not. But
Well, I had somebody, well, I've been asked more than one time, because, I did videos for Dixie Belle for years as a retailer. And, well, why don't you ever use this product? And I would say, because I don't like it.
same.
You know,
Which is why the whole gator hide thing came up. I had a ton of people asking me, why don't you promote it? This is why. I don't, me personally. It's, to me, it's not easy to use. There are certain brand, like AJ can use that. She can use gator hide and throw it on and make it look beautiful first time around. 90% of people, when they go to use it, it's not going to happen like that. It will take a lot of practice. And so, I mean, I practiced with that stuff for a long time and still struggled.
and see, gator hide is one of those things that I never, because I always use the Miss Lillian's exterior, and I found that so much easier to work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. I
And
found a
so,
product finally that I love. What I would do instead of gator hide is I would just a lot of coats of satin, or
but when,
I thought, yeah.
honestly, can I tell you? Oh, this is going to be scandalous, especially if
Oh,
I
it'll get
actually.
bad.
Oh, I'm sure it will. And like I said, I don't care if I'm telling tales out of school anymore. I actually know three video creators, and I'm not going to say if they were brand ambassadors or if they were retailers or just content creator, but I know
Mm-hmm.
three people who did videos on gator hide that they were not using gator hide. Two were using a different paint line, a boutique kind
Mm-hmm.
of paint line, and another
Yep.
person used Varathane and said that they
Yep.
were using gator hide.
Yep.
And so and I was like, they
And
admitted
Varathane
that.
is gator hide, right? Or wait, am I thinking of the wrong one? Go ahead. I'm just thinking.
So I'm not sure if Varathane is the same as gator hide, but yeah, they used right off of the Home Depot shelf Varathane.
Yep.
And so that was the thing, and I was like, hold on, why? So they put it in a bucket, in a bowl before they
Mm-hmm.
went live, and they said, I'm using this product, and the product that was in the bowl was because the reason that this came up over the years, like I said, I did videos for years for Dixie Belle.
Right.
So I would actually talk to people that did videos and be like, and they're like, hey, we're being asked to use certain products. And they're like, and I said, I don't like gator hide. And I said, so I don't want to use it on film because it always streaks for me, especially over dark colors. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh,
No matter what
and
you do, no matter how many tricks. Yeah.
I tinted it and everything else. It just never came out right. And so I didn't want to, that's the biggest thing when you're doing videos is you don't want to screw up on video because it's on video.
Mm-hmm.
It's on video. People could replay it and watch your face go.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
I fell through a glass one time. Just saying. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah. And yeah, so over the years, three of them admitted that they used either another paint line or they used Varathane. And I was like, you're kidding. So you don't just no, and they do that for. She's like, yeah, I do that for this, and I don't use this product. I use this, and I'm like, but you're on. Yeah, I just have it in my bowl
Or you pour it in the
before.
gator hide thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She said that I always, I'm like, hey, here, and she would show the product, and then in the bowl, she's like, I've already got some down here because I already started my project. You can see where it's wet on the side, so I just
Mm-hmm.
started before I went live, and she admitted that she does not use certain products,
That
and
whole
that
smoke and mirrors thing,
and I was
which is
like, that to me was like I couldn't do that, and I don't,
yeah, I'd rather not even
but
promote it at that point.
that made me kind of step back and go, you're kidding me, right?
And so when
So
people can't figure it out and they don't know why it's not working for them and they hear it's not the product, it's you. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And again, they're not the only company that does it. It's like, you hamburger, Burger King will post a nice juicy looking Whopper, all pretty, and then you go and it's like flat and
It
half
looks,
the size. It's marketing, you guys. Again, why we're saying do your research, try it out for yourself, make that conclusion, because it's a conclusion you made, not one that you were told to make. I'll say it all day long.
yeah,
All day long.
there's a difference between laying down a bread trail and then, there's a difference between a bread trail, like, come on. Okay, you took that one. Here's the next one. Oh, you came to
Right.
this conclusion? Congratulations. There's a difference between that and, hey, here's some information. Here's some other information. Here's some more information.
Right.
Please check out all the information.
Exactly.
So it's like, putting a horse with blinders on.
Yep.
That's all you can see. So,
Yep.
all right, girl. Well, it is almost 8 o'clock.
I
We've been on
know.
here
That just
almost
went
2 hours.
quick too. I know. I could talk to you all day. Hopefully you'll have me back again where we'll actually paint and, you know, do the fun stuff. It gets
Okay,
heavy, but it's
I
important.
will I will get with you. How about sometime in September? Because
Yeah.
not next week will be my last week here in Texas, and then
Okay.
the 16th is actually my 50th birthday on a Tuesday night,
Whoop,
and we will be
whoop.
doing Painting with Whiskey and Women
Hey,
from Tennessee on
how
Tuesday night
fun.
for my 50th birthday, and I will be with
Yeah.
Sue, who's usually on with
Fun.
me. So, and then, we got to come back and then recover. So I'll get with you. How about sometime in September? Does that sound
Yeah.
good with you?
I'd love it. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely need to paint and
And we'll actually paint something.
yeah. I mean, I painted. I got
Hey, I did
really
the
good
whole
first coat.
top. I did the whole top.
There you go. So we painted for, the first half an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh,
But
what's gonna really be bad is trying to get up off this floor.
I know. I know. I'm going to get up. I'm going to pee. I'm going to grab me. I don't have Dr. Pepper, but I'm going to grab me some water. And then I'm going to jump back on my page. I know. You're such a bee. Just rub it in. And then I'm going to jump back on my page and actually paint
Get some
some
work
more.
done.
So if y'all want to jump over Beauty for Ashes Design Studio, please do. If not, then I'll see you guys back in a few weeks in September. Gosh, a few weeks, a month
Yeah.
or so, something like that. And happy early birthday. I'll talk to you
Thank
before
you.
then. But it was fun. Thanks for having me on and talking the talk, even though it's not always easy. I hope people understand where we're coming from and that it's not we're not being ugly. We're just trying to be truthful. So hopefully they'll get it.
So, my lovelies, I will be back on the Miss Lillian's page Monday afternoon if, stuff doesn't happen, because yesterday was the Mondayest Monday that I ever Mondayed in my life. And
Until next Monday.
no, Ash, or Nature, I was literally like 4 minutes into my life when the power went out at the
Oh,
house.
when your power went out. Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah, it was horrible. And so I finally get it back, and then I had to go pick up my son from work, and so I came back, and like at 6, 7 o'clock at night, I went back on and redid my live that I should have done at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because power went out, and all sorts of stuff happened yesterday. It was cats and dogs living together. It was just
Monday. I think you froze up.